Hello, welcome to the Modern Musclehead Podcast. This is Scott Tousignant of MetaboliCMasterpiece.com, along with my man Bryan Krahn of BryanKrahn.com. Awesome, dude. Welcome to our Ripped Report, the segment where Bryan and I are getting ripped for a photo shoot. Summer shredding. I mean, this has not been easy, dude. This is the first time I have gone through a cutting phase during the summer. I normally get shredded leading up to the summer and then just totally relaxing during the summer months. I almost treat my summer as bulking season, which is a good way of... It makes it so easy to justify the extra calories when you take that kind of mindset approach. And it was a big downfall for me last summer where I put on more fat than I had intended to put on. It makes it so much more challenging to burn it off again. And really, I think when you're gaining too much fat, we've talked about this before, I think you got more work to do. You spend more time in a cutting phase than you really need to, than you really should be spending in a cutting phase. And it makes it a little bit tougher to pack on that size. But either way, it's been a few weeks since we've done our last Ripped Report. So we got a lot of catching up to do. For me, leading up to that last podcast, things were pretty smooth sailing. I think I kind of jinxed myself. I was like, man, I haven't really faced any challenges or obstacles. This is things. It's easy. It's easy getting lean in those early stages, and then man, things just kind of, I wouldn't say fell apart, but it was like challenge after challenge after challenge, and a lot of it had to do with like mini vacations, social events. It hit me hard, and a lot of learning experiences. I've gone through a lot of growth during the past few weeks, so we're going to hit on that, and you are no stranger to challenges as well. Things haven't been easy for you?
Well, no, I've had no significant challenges. I've had good challenges, just really busy with client work, and I fell full on into like things like stress eating and stuff like that. And it's been a really rough week. So I've had to do a lot of the things that I tell my clients to do. I've had to do, certainly had to jump right back in myself,
Right.
Just, watching triggers and having a lot more structure in my day. It has not been an easy week, but fortunately, 1 week is a long time to blow. So I got to play catch up now, but
Let's dive into that then, because it's amazing. So when you're cutting, there's so many different kinds of challenges that you can face. So we've got the social events that we deal with, and then there's life stresses, work stresses that you were dealing with, just being freaking crazy busy. Some people, it's lack of sleep. I mean, there's just so many things that can go on in your life that make dieting a big challenge. So how did you reel things in? Like, what were some of the conversations? Like, were you aware of the stress eating while it was going on, and were you just kind of letting it go for a little? I'm stressed. I'll get back on track, and then. But how did you finally reel things in?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, when I work with people, typically it's things like navigating social events. How do you do that? And how do you have more structure in your day and stuff like that, and preparing like meal preps. But I don't get a lot of people who ask me about I'm working 18 hours a day and stuff like that, and how do I and I'm super stressed at the end of the day, how do I get around that? So that's kind of what I was facing. I was just been so busy with client work and stuff like that, and then fitting in my own training and fitting in other stuff that I got to do, that by the end of the day I would just be super ravenous, and I'd be in this calorie deficit, and I would eat, and I've been eating in excess of it. I've been overeating at night, and just to, I guess, make myself, kind of relax and feel good. And it's just ironic because I'm cognizant while I'm doing it. I'm like, fuck, I'm eating way too much here. And so that's kind of the rub to it all, is that I know that I'm dropping the ball, but just, so I've had to like be mindful that it's got to stop. I mean, like, cut it off in 1 week, 6 days, and then get right back on the program. But it's just easy to do, man. Life is a snowball.
Right.
And, and it's just, you can have all the knowledge and all the will, as much willpower as you can have. And eventually, if you let things start to snowball, it's tough to stop. So
Yeah,
yeah.
without a doubt. I mean, a week is really tough. I find it.
Oh
I
God.
got to reel things in after 3 days, or that snowball gets bigger and bigger, and it's tougher to slow that sucker down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you can't get fat. Well, most people can't get fat in a day.
Right.
3 days now you're starting to push it,
Yeah.
but yeah, anything more than that, you really have to like, you have to put the brakes on. Um, but it's tough to do, man. I mean, it's just, it's tough to get back into a groove sometimes. The longer
Hmm.
you stay out of a groove, the tougher it is to jump back in. So,
Right. So you were always aware that like
oh
this
yeah.
isn't good. This isn't good. I'm
This is
overeating,
good. Yeah.
but fuck it. I'm doing it anyway. So how do you put the brakes on it? Like did you tell yourself like you find yourself thinking, all right, I'm stressed, I'm overeating. How do you slam on the brakes and say, forget it now?
Well, you know what? I had to, the biggest thing I had to do is I had to get over myself a little bit because, my fridge is, obviously I'm married and, so my fridge is full of like foods for my wife and foods for me and stuff like that. Lots of just like normal people foods.
Hmm.
And I had to just say, you know what? Right now, I can't have peanut butter in the house. I just can't do it because if like I'm stressed, I'm still working at 11 o'clock at night on the stupid computer.
Hmm.
If I go into the fridge, I'm gonna eat that. I'm not gonna measure out, a thumb-sized portion. I'm gonna eat, a gaping, huge ass tablespoon of the stuff and put it on a rice cake.
Right.
Um, so it's like I've had to do a lot of like kind of the first stage damage control, like get stuff out of my house, get stuff, or at least out of my reach, So I'm sure my wife will be like hiding things where I can't find it, but
Yep.
yeah, stuff like that, like kind of the entry level stuff, because I just don't. When I get super stressed, I mean, I need as few things to navigate as possible. You know what I mean? I just need here's my food. This is what I do. I just need less decisions I need to make, the better.
Hmm. That's excellent. I think that's a great strategy and really important. Just shows how important it is to kind of have if you have a spouse or other people living in the house with you, trying to get them on board with you. It doesn't mean that they have to completely adopt your lifestyle, but doing things like saying, I can't see it,
Yeah,
keep it out of sight. Don't even tell me it's in the house. Like so, if she goes
yeah,
shopping and wants to buy something, right away
it's
hide
fine.
it. Like I don't even want to know that it's in the house because if I know something's in the house and it's hidden, I may go on a little scavenger hunt and try to find it as
I
well.
don't.
So just don't even tell me what you buy. Don't tell me what's in here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely been helpful. That's something that I had to do years
yeah,
ago when I first during my first cutting phase. That was absolutely necessary for me. I get a little bit better now than I was
yeah,
before. I can see it and turn it down. I'm a little bit better at that, but that came with experience and practice. But yeah, that's I think one of
yeah,
the best strategies for most people.
yeah,
Just don't have it. Don't have the temptations there. It's
yeah,
if you have to get in your car and drive to
yeah,
get ice cream, it's a little bit you're less likely to
yeah.
go get it than you are if it's
Totally.
right there in the fridge. And
And the other thing for me too is I forgot, and this is something I should instill in my clients more. It's like I forgot how stress amplifies certain cues.
oh, big time.
And because I've just been Facebooking this week. Like, you need a little bit of hunger when you're dieting, but I find that, and I experienced that this week. Like when you're hyper stressed and you're hyper pushed, like those, all of a sudden the hunger can really get out of control, and you end up overeating, and it never really, even if you have the best of intentions, it's so much harder to stay kind of like on your track. Like if you allow yourself to get that hungry. So what, for me, what I'm going to do is like my workload's not going to go down. So
Hmm.
I'm just going to be a little bit more methodical about, having my meals prepped in advance, and just, yeah, exciting a little bit of low end hunger, but not telling myself I'm too busy to eat and going, 12, 14 hours and then getting incredibly ravenous and just, overeating like that. So
100%. That
yeah,
big, big strategies there as well. And I think I'm totally on board with that. Stress can have a huge impact
oh
on you, and you're trying to get ripped at the same time. So you got to be very careful with your training and your overall
yeah,
lifestyle as well. It's one of the reasons why I've been in that situation as well, and at the same time doing like waking up super early in the morning to go on the step mill for 45 minutes to an hour, just getting in a whole bunch of like pretty intense cardio. And that type of situation it was cutting into my sleep, waking up extra early to get in cardio that was kind of challenging on my body, creating a new stress. So really find that if I am under life stresses, it's best for me to just walk, get outdoors and walk if I can, because that relaxes me. It gets me in tune with myself and tune with nature, and that decreases my stress. I'm still burning calories at the same time, maybe not as much as if I was doing a little bit more challenging type of cardio, but I find it puts my body in a more optimal hormonal state, and making sure that sleep is a top priority, and doing everything I can to get quality sleep and just reduce. I don't want training to be an extra stress or dieting to be an extra stress. So doing things like you did, where meal prep, that's huge. If you don't have to be thinking, what should I eat right now, or when should I eat, or whatever, it's have it all set, planned out ahead of time. That can definitely be a stress reducer. And as we've talked about in the past, eating a lot of the same foods, a lot of the same meals, keeping things as freaking simple as possible. It may look boring to some people, but if it's good foods that you're enjoying, it doesn't matter if you're having a lot of the same things each and every day. It's make things as easy as possible on yourself.
Well, it was just very humbling for me, because I've kind of always, I've been at this a long time. I consider myself sort of at a next level in terms of being able to eat intuitively and listen to my body and all that stuff. But I just forgot how when you get incredibly stressed, like you can't listen to your body because it tells you all types of self-sabotaging shit. So it's just
big time.
So like right now I'm kind of giving my body the middle finger. I'm not listening to you anymore because you're pissing me off. You're telling me to eat all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going back to dieting 101, man. Like, these are my meals. These are like the general times a day I'd like to eat them, and just go and shop for them, prep for them. I'll write it out. I won't even put it on my computer, man. I'll write it out like on a loose leaf and staple it to my door. And then just like, that's what I'm going to follow. Just right back to like bones. And then when life changes and needs a little less stress, I can start freelancing a bit more. But, it's just it's been a humbling week that way. So
it gets very challenging. We'll talk more about this in a future podcast later this week about the difference between going from lean to ripped. Because those mind, listening to your body, the leaner you get, oh my God, it's a disaster. Your body is fighting every step of the way. So we'll talk about that in a future show. But really, we've gone through some somewhat similar challenges, and for me, it's been, like I said, I had faced no obstacles, no challenges during the first couple of weeks of the cut. And then all of a sudden, I had a party that I went to. It was just a one-day party. And it was a Saturday night. And I was really good leading up to it. I didn't eat much during the day. I was like, okay, I want to enjoy myself tonight at this party. I don't want to be the guy who's got his Tupperware and not drinking any booze. And I wanted to enjoy myself. So I knew it was going to be a cheat day for me. My goal was to keep it in check, but after 3 beers, I was like, "Fuck!" It's funny because I was really good. You see my whole day perfect, and even dinner time when they came out with the dinner, I recorded all my videos every single day. I journal I've been journaling this cut. Every meal that I eat, the training that I do. So I'm taking videos of my food and shit. I'm like, this is right on. This is perfect. I'm solid. This is perfect. But then after the 3rd beer, all of a sudden, like, more chips started coming out. So I'm like, eating the chips. And then 11 o'clock at night, they ordered pizza. I freaking scarfed that pizza. And like at that point when the pizza came, I was full. I was full. I wasn't even hungry, dude. And I just started scarfing it back, and I felt so uncomfortable. And I get home at night, I couldn't even sleep because I was so full. Acid reflux, just felt disgusting. So I had a terrible sleep that fucked with my sleep, and that was the first thought where I'm like, oh my God, this is my first challenge. And it was the first time where I found myself falling into that whole flexible dieting trap and being able to enjoy life, live life, and all that kind of stuff. And I realized there's a big difference between flexible dieting and just being fucking stupid. Like just
Yeah.
just binging, being gluttonous. That's not flexible dieting. That's just it was nonsense, and it wasn't good. And like so many people will say, oh, one day like that isn't going to do much damage, but it took me a good 5 days to take that weight down, and then it only gives me 2 days to progress in that week. And sure, if you want to make a tiny bit of progress each week and live your life like that, maybe that'll work for some people if you like having that big binge. But afterwards, I mean, the next day, I wasn't hungry. Like, I had to force food in me at like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, I haven't eaten all morning. I got to get some food in me. And it's so far from my norm. And that's kind of, I fell into a 2 to 3 week trap like that, because the following weekend we went camping, and then I had 3 days in a row that were not as excessive as that, but they were probably, I mean, my goal during this cut, ideally I like between 1,700 and 2,000 calories is my sweet spot, with one refeed day where I may bring it up to close to maintenance. I usually like it to be just barely below my maintenance level calories. That's how I usually progress the best. But during the summer, I just kind of gave myself a little bit too much freedom, I think, a little bit too much flexibility, because I'm like, this whole cut, I'm going to show you that you can enjoy your life and everything and still get ripped at the same time. So I just took it a little bit too far. And I had so many people say, well, how much damage could you really do in 2 to 3 days? And I put on 4.5 pounds during that 3-day period. And people are like, oh, it's just water and food weight and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay, but the next day I only consumed 1,000 calories. For 3 days after that, I was only consuming 1,400 calories. And I still finished the week 1 pound heavier than I was. So I actually gained weight at the end of the week, even though my calories were so freaking low during, like, after the camping trip. Like, that's the kind of damage you can really screw up. That's the difference between making progress and not making progress. It was just... It's calories in, calories out. If you're consuming 1,000 calories a day above maintenance for 3 days in a row, you're going to have a tough time digging out of that hole throughout the rest of the week.
Well, I think the damage it does is more like look what it did to you. Like, it sounds like abuse, but I mean, it knocked you off your game for an entire week, because you're like, all right, well, I ate all, you're kind of like, oh, I put on 4.5 pounds, and you're all of a sudden even though you're progressing and going about your life, you're kind of subconsciously you're in damage control mode. Like, you're like, oh, I'm trying to mitigate what I did on the last day. Like, you're not looking forward. You're just kind of, that's one of my biggest issues with the whole kind of cheat day dieting, is that it just creates this cycle. Like, oh, okay, I got 6 days to get the work that cheat day off, and it's just like, that's not how this shit should be. It's everything's about moving forward and just one day after the next, and just kind of, always progressing. And if you're always in this conscious, like, oh, I can't believe I ate that much, 4 days ago, I'm still working that weight off. I wonder if it's all water. I wonder if it's glycogen. I wonder, you're not fucking in the moment. You're not looking at the goal line. Like, you're obsessing about something that already happened. So, I mean, that's after this week. So it's like, you have to always look forward, and that's my biggest issue with when you have much flexibility, you can get in that kind of like the damage control mode.
Yeah, it's almost like an eating disorder, really, if you think about it. It's it's like a binge and purge. It's like, I'm gonna binge and then just purge. Well, we're not getting to that extent, or like freaking puking or anything, but you're drastically changing your diet. And for me, it was I wasn't hungry, so it's not like after those 3 days I ate the 1,000 calories not to punish myself, or not because I felt guilty or anything like that. It's just I wasn't freaking hungry. But that kind of screws up everything as well. It was the first time. Am I cutting out as well? I'm not breaking up.
I think you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So I wasn't beating myself up. I wasn't feeling guilty about it. I just wasn't hungry. But it was the first time that I've ever trained in a fasted state. It's not optimal for me at all. I hear a lot of these intermittent fasting guys who they love training in a fasted state. They say they feel stronger. They say they feel the best that they've ever felt when they train fasted. I'm like, I never understood that. I'm like, there's no freaking way. I tried it a few times on a few different programs, and my body I just don't train well in a fasted state. But by eating like this, by having so many of those days where I was overeating and then not feeling hungry the next day, it was the first day I'm like, oh my God, I'm training legs. I'm not even hungry. I can't even think of putting food in my body before this workout. I got through the workout and I'm like, fuck, it worked for me. I did it. I didn't feel too bad. And then I ended up putting almost a week in a row of training fasted because our workouts were 11 in the morning. And but by the time our workout was done, I was hungry. I was definitely hungry and ready to eat at that point. So I was like, shit, I can train fasted, but I did have some BCAAs in me, which isn't really fasted, but I could do it. It was an interesting learning experience. I see what some of these other guys are saying, but really to train fasted means I have to fucking pig out at night, and that's just even though I found I could do it, it was an eye-opening experience, a learning experience for me. It's not optimal for me, and that's what I really found during these past few weeks is that I can live my life, I can go out and be like everyone else, and live life as they tell me. But I mean, I don't want to be like everyone else. You can still enjoy your summer. You can still enjoy your life without eating in excess, without overeating, overindulging. Because I was always enjoying myself when I could just eat at maintenance level calories. So, it's just I've experienced a lot of growth and just really come full circle to. I just got to get back to what has always worked for me, which is keeping that pretty steady caloric intake, 1,700 to 2,000 calories, having a small refeed here and there. And that means I can still have a little bit of responsible, flexible dieting where 10% of my calories can come from if I want to have a beer, if I want to have some chips or have some pizza. I can do that as long as it fits that 10%, not allowing myself so much flexibility and freedom to just have a fucking all-out free-for-all. Because it's not in compliance with the goals that I want to achieve. And for the lifestyle that I really want to live, it's not me. I find you fall into that trap of what everyone else is doing, and it's why they're all struggling. And so it's been an overall interesting experience.
Well, I mean, consistency is the name of the game, and I really think you need to do whatever it takes to, like, I personally, I don't like this, like what I eat and to take up any more real estate in my brain than it already does. Because, I got stuff to do, I got content to create, people to coach. So, I mean, whatever I can do to be consistent and just hit my marks every day, like diet-wise. So it's almost like a robot mode. I mean, that's the best fit for me because it just frees up a lot of energy to devote to other things. And I just found that this week when I was devoting all this energy to working and writing and all this stuff, that then when it came time to make decisions about eating, I was making poor decisions. So it's all about knowing yourself and knowing what kind of works for you.
How about training? How's your training been lately?
Well, that's been great, man. I mean, I've as I progressed with this cut, I've brought my volume down, the weekly aggregate, like my total volume down, but I've increased the frequency. So I'm having more exposures of a training part, but I'm just the overall, like, the workouts are a little bit faster. There's only one that's any appreciable volume, so it's great. I mean, that's been awesome, but I just have to support it a little better nutritionally. But no, training's been awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. You made some great posts on Facebook this week, and people were really responding well to it. I saw it, and it looks a lot like structures that I have in the Aesthetic Muscle Plan. Upper lower splits where you're hitting everything 3 times a week, and it's awesome. That's one of my favorite splits to work in there here and there. And managing that's the one thing that when you start manipulating your frequency, really managing recovery can be a challenge for some people. You can't go balls out, and it's interesting to see how some people approach a split like that. They're like they're trying to keep their volume the same per workout, and they're hitting it more frequently. It's a surefire way to kind of run yourself into the ground there for sure. So it's always great to see a properly structured program that adds in a little extra frequency there and allows you the recovery and more frequent bouts of stimulation to the muscle. It's a fun way to train because I find on plans like that, I never feel beat up because you're not hammering it all the time. but it's still it's nice to take. It's only, you don't want to be doing it all the time either. You got to mix in the other frequencies.
No. Yeah, no. My volume is still too high. It's still too high, but I mean, I've accepted that. That's one of my failings. So I do tend to still go a little too high volume, but
you look good.
Yeah,
the structure I was seeing you on there looked like a solid plan, man. I'd be all over that.
Yeah. Well, man, you get me on cable curls, and I start rocking that shit all day. You know, just like 2, 3, 4 hours, man. Cable curls.
Actually, I just started incorporating lying cable curls in this phase. So lying on a mat on the floor and curl. Dude, it was awesome. We supersetted that with hammer curls, and it was a sick pump. I've never done lying cable curls. I've done different variations, but it's been awesome. Training for me has been, we just started a new phase of our summer shred, and we're still sticking with it's a 3-day split where we're doing chest and back day 1, shoulders and arms day 2, legs day 3. So those first 3 days we're going in the 6 to 7 rep range. Different training protocol. We're using some rest pause in there, some supersetting, and some straight sets, and then we do the same 3-day split, but more hypertrophy focus, more higher rep stuff. We're including techniques like 8 sets of 8 and 100 rep sets in addition to straight sets, and that kind of structure works really well for us. We don't feel beat up. We're not going so heavy where we're really beating up on our joints. Even though it's 6 to 7 reps, it works really well for us. And when you're doing a superset type fashion or rest pause, it's really working well for us. The 8 sets of 8, 100 rep sets, it's really nice. We're starting with 8 sets of 8, and I really love that because the first 4 sets of 8 sets of 8, we're only resting 15 seconds between sets. So you got to choose a weight that's about 60% of what you would normally lift for 8 reps. So it's nice and light. It kind of really builds that movement pattern in there. You get into a good groove, and then the last 4 sets get progressively more challenging, and then you're barely getting out the 8th rep on the 7th and 8th set. It's just a great way to start the workout. It's almost like you're warming up, and then you get to that pump. Then we move on to some straight sets, and then finish with the 100 rep sets where it's just, again, a light load that you're aiming for like 20, 25 reps on that first set. Again, building up that movement pattern, and then the pump, we're only resting for like 5 to 10 seconds rest there. So it's been an awesome experience, easier on our joints, and especially during a cutting phase. You don't want to be beating yourself up like that. It's been working really, really well for us. My workout partners who are, one of them is 40 years old, the other guys are over 50. We're like super enjoying it because our body is really responding well to this kind of structure, and including some of those light load type training that just cause a lot of muscle damage, metabolic stress, metabolic muscle fatigue. It's worked really, really well for us during this cutting phase.
Oh, I love 8 sets of 8, man. Vince Garanda, the honest workout. That's what he called it. That's awesome.
Yeah, old school. Yeah. That's where it's all at, man. This is definitely where it's at. Smart bodybuilding, smart. And I loved how he was like cosmetic bodybuilding. It's aesthetics, man. Aesthetics. That's where it's at, and it's freaking awesome. I love it, dude.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. I'll join you for one of those workouts. That's my shit.
Oh, I love it. That's where we're all at. It's excellent, man. So I think that's a wrap for catching up where we're at.
Yeah.
Our goal is to do more frequent. Let's get these suckers up more frequently, keeping them short and sweet. Get back to our old routine of quick 15 to 20 minute podcasts. We're going to be coming at you more frequently, although we got some vacations here and there. Makes it a little bit tougher to work around, but we're going to be back on track with this, man.
You and your vacations, man. You're constantly traveling. I tell you, man. You're just like this jet setter.
How about you, man? You're in New York and you're all over the place too, man.
New York. That's a one-horse town, man. You just. All right, no, I'm in the zone now. No more vacations for me. Man. All right.
And refocus. I think that's the thing. One little final wrap up here is that. Yeah, I faced some challenges for the first, like in the beginning is like, this is smooth sailing, no freaking problem. This cutting thing is a breeze. And then I faced some challenges, and I grew from that experience, and I'm like more focused than I've ever been during this entire cutting phase. I'm like, I'm dialed right in right now. I'm super excited, more reinvigorated from it all. And I think you kind of need to face some of those challenges and overcome them along the way to really propel yourself forward. So I'm just crazy freaking stoked to rest. I am. I'm all fired up right now.
Crazy freaking stoked. Crazy CFS.
Love it, dude. Awesome.
All right.
Been great catching up with you, dude. And
yeah, you too.
Hope everyone else enjoyed today's show. Again, go visit our sites, metabolicmasterpiece.com, bryancrahn.com. Drop us some comments, drop us some feedback here. Let us know if you have any questions, any topics you want us to cover about this cutting phase, how it's been for us, challenges again, or victories, or how we're structuring certain things. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Catch you next time.
Boom. Peace.